just a reminder, I got 3 test questions running, some of which are at least a year old, and no one has answered any of them. So for the folks who see these videos, if you're invested, which means you're involved, what are you doing? Yeah. I got one person who put forth some insightful thoughts having to do with the Magic Squares test question. And the same person did put in time and piece together part of the question that has to do with something that's been hidden from us, that has to do with where we are, what this is, and how it's dressed up occasionally in the programming, as well as other sources of quote unquote information. They put in the time. I'm still curious what the fuck everybody else is doing. And I just left a third test question online last night, which I don't think anybody's going to answer based on the turnout. I'll probably post it on some other social engineering platforms and other profiles I moderate on here too. Maybe. It shouldn't be this hard if, the truth community and all that other shit's, out there and people are making progress. If we live in the age of information, if people are so fucking woke, it shouldn't be that hard. And it's not that hard. It's not hard at all if you just think about it. I'm rattling all that off because the same thing applies to the research. If you stay the course and you think for yourself and you put in the time and you don't suck our masters' dicks and repeat a bunch of nonsense, and in doing so fuck yourself up and fuck me up and fuck everybody else up, which is what people are doing, which is what the truth community is, what the age of disinformation is, and all the other shit I rattled off. Everything I've been up to, on my end, it is and it has been absolutely undeniably beautiful. And it blows me away. It continually blows me away. What I was sorting out while I was trying to sleep, but these days I'm working with all this crap in my head. It's wild. I just can't shut it off. And I've told you guys before, once you open it up, you can't turn it off. You can't shut the door. That's the only drawback to it. It's absolutely beautiful. In terms of hoping to find at least one fucking person, but I thought I'd be able to find a group of people and make progress, which some of you have heard me bitch about. That moment in time, it's lacking in the scheme of things. And it shouldn't have been. It just doesn't jive with what people are shopping around or what people are, what they're boasting about. If that shit's true. It's wild. The conversation I was having in my head last night, this is before I went to bed, and it's something that would have pissed me off too, but I was just thinking about it. Where I'm at with the research right now, it's so far down the fucking line. I'm still dancing it back and giving you guys bits and pieces to work with. And most people are thankless, to say the very least. They're just kicking back and they're here to take. Yeah. I get stuck on that. But the conversation I was having in my head was, if I met somebody who's doing these things, I mean, I'd bend over backwards and fucking jump through hoops and all that other stuff. But I was trying to think of how it would shake out just trying to interact with somebody. And the people who I have interacted with in real life and some online, you're going to naturally have questions and you're going to wonder about a bunch of shit and you're going to want to interject constantly. And I think back to school, because that's what I did when people were rattling shit off. I mean, specifically math magic, which didn't make any sense to me, and trying to apply something that made no fucking sense to me whatsoever. to what I'm leaving online, the stepping stones I've left online, which probably don't make any sense to people. It made me think back to one of those math teachers, and I do hate it. I hate that I feel this way. It makes me want to tell, the hypothetical person standing in the room with me that I want to show answers to shut up and write a few things down. To write a few things down and to sit with it for a second. I would show them some of this as well, but just to shut up and fucking take some notes and think about it. And or write these things down, take these notes, and these are things I've already left online a bunch. And think about it for 2 to 3 months. And then let's meet back up. And then let's field some questions and have a little chat. Instead of morning, noon, and night, here are my fucking random things that I'm trying to, sort out in my brain on the spot, even though none of it makes any fucking sense. There's no cohesion yet. But I've got all these questions that lead nowhere and mean nothing because they're based on things that lead nowhere and mean nothing. They're based on paradigms. Yeah. There's an analogy I was cooking up in my head last night, and I probably should just put it in a separate video, but I'll throw it in here and maybe I'll do that too. I was thinking about, imagine standing there and you're standing in a flowing stream of, sewage. You got sewage pouring between your heels. Yeah? And that's by and large what the age of information is right now. What I can give you is something to stand on, and people keep rejecting that because the sewage apparently is far more appealing. There's more of it. It's more readily accessible. Everybody's familiar with it. Everyone knows the stench. The analogy is better in my head, and I thought about refining it, but that's the gist of it. And I realize it's pretty shit.